Okay guys, I just want to make a short video. I've been asked a couple times about the school bus some of you guys are seeing in the background in some of my pictures and whatnot. I thought I'd just kind of give you a little tour of what I've done here. And I built this several years ago. And so basically what I've done, this is my engine storage, engine and parts storage. You see right over here I do have a transmission and torque amplifier section for an 806. I do also have a couple final drives, the bowl and pinion gears and the axles, one way up front there. Moved in here, basically just get stuff out of the weather. I've got a little more work to do to it one of these days. I've got a couple windows broke out. I need to get those fixed back up, kind of keep the weather out of the inside here a little better. But it does a really good job about keeping a good place to store my stuff. At one time, guys, I had over 22 engines in here. I have thinned the herd a little bit, and I see just a few mud daubers at work today, and of course mud daubers won't sting you unless you pinch them really hard, and I've not that I've ever been stung by a mud dauber. It's just let them do their thing and clean up later after them. So because you really can't stop it in the area I'm at, it's just you can't keep the building tight, shed tight enough to keep them out. It is kind of a nuisance sometimes to get them built in. The other thing that are the little bugs I call leaf cutter bugs that will actually chew up leaves and fill up. If you leave a fuel hose or anything like that, they'll fill that completely up, or even a bolt hole in something sometimes, and that's kind of a nuisance too. But there's things that we just have to deal with what we have. But anyway, what I wanted to do here is give you just a little show and tell about inside this bus and how I build it. Basically what I've done is I just took two pieces of angle iron and run clear down the sides on each side. I built this several years ago, and I've moved the bus a couple of times. And if you notice, it's kind of listing to one side. And now I don't know if it's starboard or port side, and I hear probably some baby starlings or sparrows up there in a nest somewhere along the side where those little dome lights were. Evidently somebody thought they needed those out of here. I don't even think they might not even been in here when I got the bus. But anyway, what I wanted to explain though was my gantry that I built. Took this angle iron and just bolted it to each one of these sections in between the windows, and then after I got it all put together, I welded it and spot welded it on as I went. The I-beam across here is just actually just two pieces of channel iron welded together, and then I used these are front wheel drive car rear wheel bearings and the hub assembly, and they got the studs knocked out of it, and they just ride inside here with a little bit of variance in the width. As the bus settles over time, it moves a little bit. It actually seems to work better. If you got a little weight on it, it works fine. Once in a while I will put a little grease on those to keep them, and if I just roll it a little bit, you'll see it may want to ride up a little bit. Yeah, I'll see it's wanting to ride up. It's been quite a while since I rolled anything down here in it, so it's kind of wanting to jump up and down. That's why I did put the old FE intake on it, guys. And if most of you are not too familiar with those FE motors, that's the old 352, 360, 390, 428, 427, Ford Edsel, and I think the last year production was 76, I think, for 360. But anyway, those old intake manifolds, this is a factory 4-barrel intake, pretty heavy, guys, somewhere around 100 pounds. And I was explaining to somebody how the cylinder head was split underneath the valve cover. Part of the cylinder head actually is on the intake, where, as you can see, where's my cylinder head? Okay, here's a cylinder head right here. So here's the intake side of the cylinder head. Notice we don't have a face here for the valve cover. Valve cover comes out on over the top of it. Here's the valve cover and rockers and stuff for one right here. It's all the same motor I pulled down. That brown pickup that I tore apart, pulled the heads off, and the motor was stuck on it. It's kind of a shame because that motor is fairly fresh, and I'm going to clean it up. The block mic's good. The crank mic's good. I'm just going to go ahead and re-ring it, hone it and re-ring it, and put new bearings and stuff in it, put it back together. Probably going to put it in the 71 on propane. But just back to it though a little bit, I wanted to show you guys just some of my storage here. And I got a big stack of cylinder heads over here. Looks like I've been digging in them and haven't put them back. So I need to spend a couple hours in here one of these days and clean it up a little bit. Got a little junk over here. That cardboard box there is all new old stock Ford parts that I just had some miscellaneous stuff. Didn't have a really good place to put it, and the box was kind of deteriorated and went to crap on me, so I need to do something with that, some of that stuff. And like I said, thin the herd a little bit. I do see a aluminum small block Chevy oil pan. That's one of the few things of that vintage of that brand in here. I don't know of much GM stuff, and the only thing I know of I do have a little Mopar 272 over there. You just barely see the water pump sticking out over there like that. So mostly all Ford stuff. One right here in front of us, guys, is a really kind of a rare, not many of them made, 2.2 diesel. It's actually out of a Ford Ranger. 2.2 Mazda, in cooperation with Ford, put those in Ford Rangers. They were in a B2200, and along with that motor was actually built by Perkins for Mazda. For that, it's a steelhead pushrod motor. The little 83 Ranger I got up here does have one of those in it. It runs and moves, but it's pretty tired, guys. It's got way over 200,000 to 300,000 miles on it. I really don't know, but I used to drive it to work all the time. I just bomb around with it a little bit on the farm here and don't do too much. But that is another one of those motors, guys. And one of the hard things about that was I had a little trouble with flywheels, actually starter gears one time, and I took the, of course you can take the starter rings off the flywheels and change them. I actually took the starter ring off, and because I couldn't find one, I actually turned it around and took a die grinder and beveled the teeth on it so I could reuse it for a while. Worked pretty good. And then I did find a couple of them new old stock at a dealership in Illinois, and guess what? I only bought one. I should have bought both of them. Now, again, like many of the things I got around here, somebody's going to enjoy the heck out of it at my estate auction. We'll see. I actually see a flathead Ford intake manifold laying right here. That's nothing too special about that piece. I do know there's some Cleveland pistons here, just all kinds of stuff. And then here, just a little bit, is this 430 Lincoln with the Algon fuel injection set up on it. This is actually the one I had in my pulling truck. Motor still turns over. I couldn't believe it. I kind of thought about it here a while back and come out here and put a wrench on it, and it turns over. I couldn't believe it still was free. I do have another one right here. This is actually another 430 Lincoln, only it's a little bit newer one. It's got the goofy bell housing pattern on the back side. It's a little bit different motor than that. One of the cool things about that also is here you see the power steering reservoir on it. The power steering pump is on the back side is driven by the crankshaft, and on the back side of the balancer there, and the dipstick is in the reservoir. Fuel pump is right up top in the center right here. You can see the fuel pumps right there. So lots of goodies in here, guys. Got a whole stack of pulleys in here like this, and most of them again are all about old Ford stuff. And I know these two buckets have parts for off of a 77 F-150 that had a 460 in it. So I got the mounts and some of the stuff, and then some of the body pieces here. We got the mounts in there again, and then you see the battery tray. It's not all rotted out. It's a pretty good saver on that. So the only reason why even talking about this, guys, I had got to unload some stuff out of my the back of my Escape. No really place to put it, so I'm going to bring it in, set it in here for now, and then move it into some other storage. I am actually on the hunt, and I may even go do that tomorrow afternoon and go look at a couple of 48-foot semi-trailers to put down here and put make for more storage, and then put actually, if you can see through the window, there's my bulldozer sitting there. On each side of it's concrete foundation. It's like 25 foot long. I want to set those trailers on that foundation on each side of that bulldozer, and then put a roof over the top of it, keep the weather out of it. Lots of plans, guys. Again, as the channel says, 1,001 projects, right? I foresee getting this thing all kind of up where I wanted to have it, just in time to not be able to do anything in my older age. And guys, it's not really, is a little closer to the truth than you really think. It's too bad I couldn't afford to do this kind of stuff when I was younger, but you know, it is what it is, and that's just kind of where it's going to be. But I just ended up here visiting for 11 minutes and 45 seconds. Unbelievable. But anyway, guys, just kind of wanted to give you a show and tell about how this works. I tried to pull the chain on that hoist. I'm going to have to take it apart. It's actually been a while since it's been moved. I can't pull the chain to raise that hoist up. So I'll have to take the cover off of it and find out. Probably a great big glob of mud dauber nest inside of it. And more than likely that's what the problem is. So, and I just see lots of things here that I do, but about an afternoon's worth of cleaning stuff up, moving around. I definitely need to. I got some really nice pieces of. I think they're. It's not plexiglass, but it's some plastic. Can't think of what to call it now, but some plastic pieces to cut out and put new glass inside here. A couple of these broke not too long after I built it, and one of them got a rock through it when we were mowing one day. So anyway, just going to finish up there with that, and kind of wanted to show everybody my storage shed. One of the things I'm going to need to do with this is get it leveled back up. It's leaning to the right. Like I said, don't know whether that's port or starboard in Siemens terms, but anyway, it is what it is. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.